Hey everybody, Sean Jason here, coming at you with an update about the $150,000 that is still frozen by BMO. It's the $150,000 we raised back in February to try helping the truckers with. Actually, first of all, I'm going to show you, I'm going to log into my BMO. Let's see here, because there's a lot of chatter out there. I don't know about a lot. I'm hearing some chatter anyways, that some people think that we just stole the money, we're lying, we cheated everybody, we cheated the truckers. That's bunk. That's absolutely crazy. No. Anyway, let me show you. Loading BMO, loading the BMO app. I'm going to show you guys that in the account, there's still 150,000 and it's frozen. Okay, so thumb press to get in. Let's see here. It was pretty brutal. We had just moved into the house too, mid-January, and when they froze our account, okay, you can see there's $150,000 in the checking account. So we tap through, go to account details, scroll down, funds on hold, $150,000. Okay? All right, so now that's clear. There's evidence. They've got $150,000 frozen. Anyways, so BMO called yesterday. It's the compliance department. It behaved a little differently yesterday than previously. When they'd call before, they would call and tell me that they were unnamed agents. It was their policy to not disclose their names. So they were unnamed agents that would call. Anyway, this time it was a named agent, and she left her number on a voicemail. Because as some of you know, I hardly ever answer my calls. I answer my phone. You got to leave a message to get to me. But so she left a number, and it wasn't the normal compliance department number. It was a 647 number. So I thought that was weird. So I called it and left a message on her voicemail. Her voicemail gave her name. So, and she sounded very friendly and perky. I thought, great, something good is happening here. So called her back. I'm going to play the recording for you in a moment here. Called her back, and no, something great isn't happening. Well, it may be, but it's not what I was hoping. They are saying that there's only two ways that this money can be dealt with at this point. One way is give them the donors list, which they've asked for a couple of times now, and I've told them no. Well, they're trying again. They want the list of donors. They say they can return the money to the donors, but they need the list of donors' names. I'm not giving them the list of donors' names. That's ridiculous. And at this point now, the only other way they say that this can go is they will send the funds to court proceedings. So we have to go to court to get it. So that seems to be the way to go. I've been sitting here having faith that they're just going to release the funds. I was hoping to not play the system because I don't like the courts. I don't like any of that. I don't want to play that game. I'd like to see us all just turn our backs on the entire establishment and create our own. So I've been holding off, trying to be patient, hoping that the money's actually still coming. No, it seems we need to go to court. So I have reached out to a couple lawyers now, but I haven't really signed on with anybody. So part of this video is to request, who do you recommend that, who can help with this? Give me the name of lawyers or organizations that you feel can be helpful to this. They're on our side. Leave comments below, please. I'm going to need to find a lawyer, it seems. Next up, let me play for you the audio recording. Let's see, voice, whoops, that's not what I want. Let's see here, let's go voice, memos, there. All right, turn this up, here we go, ready?
Call.
Wait, back it up.
This is Sean LaPlante calling.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for returning my call. So I just wanted to update you on the status of the funds that are being held in your account.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So the guidance that I've received is that the funds either need to be returned to the remitters, or there needs to be a court application to have them be released. So I'm not sure what path you wanted to take. If you wanted to have the funds returned to the remitters, I've been asked to see if you could provide us with a list of instructions to have the funds returned. If not, then I believe we will have to forward the funds to the court, or there will have to be a court application to release the funds.
Okay, well, I have started speaking to a lawyer about this anyway. I'm not going to give you guys a list of names. That's crazy. You guys have proven. I'm not upset with you, just so you know, but I am upset about all this. And there's no way I'm going to give you our list of donors. Accounts were frozen for this kind of thing. Like, that would be insane. I'm totally not giving you the list of donors, and I will chase this down with a lawyer if I need to. I was really hoping you were calling with good news, because it's kind of ridiculous. You guys are very in the wrong on this. I mean, not you personally, but BMO is very in the wrong on this. You illegally and immorally and incorrectly stole the money from us and then told me you can't give it back because if you do, you'll be aiding me in fraud. If fraud happened, it was you guys who did the fraud by taking the money in the first place. So, no, I'm not giving you the list of donors. Please either release the funds or I will have to do it through court, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. I'll so I can just go back and let them know that you're not going to be giving us the list of names, and so I'll just ask them to proceed with next steps. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's next steps on your end? What do you?
I'm just going to advise my internal legal team of what you've decided to do in terms of next steps, because those are the two options that I was given.
Okay.
So I'll let them know, and then if there's any other updates, I will give you a call back and let you know.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'd like to say thank you, but it's hard to do. But anyways, thanks for your call.
I understand. Thank you so much. Okay, take care. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So let me update you with the last phone call I had with them. The last time they called me, they said that BMO is in a tough spot right now, unprecedented situation. This is what they're telling me. They said, BMO recognizes that if they return the funds to you, you're no longer able to do what you said you were going to do with the funds. Therefore, BMO would be aiding you in fraud, and we can't have that. This is what they tell me. I'm like, are you crazy? I went down on the Monday, the very same day that just so happened they enacted or invoked the Emergency Act. I went down that day to pull out $100,000 for the truckers because the plan that we had was not working out, and we had all this funds to help the truckers with. So we decided to just give money to the truckers directly. Went down to pull out 40 $2,500 bank drafts to give $100,000 that day right to the truckers. That's when they informed me my account was frozen, and that was the beginning of all this. So, and the plan, okay, let's back up a little bit further. I'd like to explain a little further on what the plan was. We were aiming, it was a hire a trucker campaign. Every $20, we were going to hire a trucker. That was going to give them a contract to deliver a Druthers to Trudeau's office. That $20 would hire a trucker. $10 was going to the trucker. $10 was going to us to manage it, administration, the various costs. I mean, there's time and money involved to do this. So, and it wasn't about how much was going to the truckers at the time. It was about hiring them, giving them a legal contract so they could legally be in the city and not be ejected. So anyways, half of the money that was coming in was supposed to go to that. Half of it was to us to manage this. And well, anyways, the fundraiser went crazy. We raised $150,000. It was a whole lot more than we anticipated. And we didn't want to make $75,000 off this. This wasn't the plan. So we were just aiming to cover costs and raise a few extra dollars to support Druthers at the same time. So that's why we decided, okay, we're going to give $100,000 to the truckers. And that's when we went down on the Monday and got told that the account was frozen. Well, anyways, back to the last phone call from BMO when they said that they can't return the funds because they would be aiding me in fraud because I cannot continue to do what I said I was going to do with the money in the first place. So I informed them at the time, and this is still the current plan. This is what I intend to do with the money when it comes back, because it will come back. They're not going to keep it. There was an awful lot of trucks, hardcore truckers who stayed right to the end. And because of that, they had their trucks towed, smashed, impounded, and left at the impound lot with broken windows during the rain and sleet and snow for a week. They weren't allowed to pick up their trucks for at least a week. The trucks had to stay in the impound lot for at least a week. And since a lot of damage was done to their trucks and a lot of windows were broken, with all the rain and snow and sleet, they incurred a lot of damage to their trucks and a big cost for all that. So what I intend to do with these funds, and this is where I would like to get you guys to weigh in on this, is we're going to gather, we've already gathered some, and we'll gather more, a list of the truckers who were there till the end. We're going to divvy up that $100,000 between all of them and help them out with the costs that they incurred. I think it's a brilliant idea. Everyone I've spoken to thinks it's a brilliant way to use the money. So let me put it into your court now. If, hypothetically speaking, you were one who donated. Now, I'm saying this because I don't want anyone, especially from BMO, to be able to look at the comments and say, oh, they were a donor. So no, donors or not, doesn't matter in this particular message. I will email the donors directly, separately. But in this email, leave a comment below. I would like to know if, hypothetically speaking, you were one who donated money to this truckers campaign. Would you rather that I give the list of donors to BMO so they can return the funds to everybody, or would you rather the funds be released so that we can still give money to the truckers? It's $100,000. The other $50,000, we're not making $50,000. We spent $25,000 to put this whole campaign together. There was a whole lot of time and effort and people power and hotels, and there was a lot of costs. We spent $25,000, so we're actually, Druthers is out $25,000 right now because of that. So when we receive the $150,000 back, we intend to give $100,000 to the truckers who had their trucks damaged. The $25,000 we're going to recover that we lost, and that leaves an extra $25,000 to help grow Druthers. In the original agreement, half the money was going to truckers, half was going to us to do this. We don't need half. That's an awful lot. But I would like the $100,000 for the truckers, $25,000 recovered that we spent, and then the extra $25,000 we can put into growing Druthers more. So leave a comment below, please. If, hypothetically speaking, you were one who donated to this truckers campaign, the Hire a Truckers campaign we did, would you rather we give the money, or the list of donors to BMO so they can return the funds, or would you rather that we give the $100,000 to the truckers who had their trucks damaged, recover our $25,000 that we spent on this, and have an extra $25,000 to help grow Druthers? Yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of that. Let's see. I think that's about it as far as the truckers bit goes. Another thing. I need a lawyer. As I mentioned, I have reached out to a couple so far, but I haven't really decided on anybody. It's time to make a decision. Clearly, this is going to go to court because I'm pretty sure none of you want me to give the list of donors to BMO. That's bonkers. They've tried a few times. They really seem to want this list. I don't want to give it to them, and I don't think you guys want me to give it to them. So, yeah, unbelievable. So I need a lawyer. So please also leave a comment below. Tell me of any lawyers you know who are on board. We really don't have a lot of funds, so hopefully they can do it on I'm not asking pro bono, but hopefully they can do it affordably, and hopefully we can pay once the funds are released, because we don't have much for extra funds. We pretty much work everything that we receive, we put it back into growing Druthers. We're not growing a big bank account like some of the haters out there like to say. We're squeaking by every month. We're doing okay, but we're certainly not growing big bank accounts here. So I'm not sure how we can afford a lawyer. But anyway, leave your comments, thoughts, and suggestions down below, pretty please. And let's leave this on a good note. I mean, this is all kind of good because I think the money's coming. I've felt that right from the beginning. It's coming. We'll get it. So this is actually a good note. But additional good note, Druthers is still growing. We started a new thing called Neighborhood Mail that is kind of going crazy. People are seeming to really love this a lot. Because currently when people donate to the fundraiser, it prints papers and ships skids across the country. And when they donate, somebody somewhere in Canada is going to get a paper. And lots of people donate. We raise $20,000 to $30,000 every month to do this. And we print 200 to 300,000 papers accordingly. It's 10 cents a paper to print and distribute. So yeah, Neighborhood Mail is going well. This is where people can go to our website at druthers.net/neighborhood and place an order to have Canada Post deliver Druthers directly to the mailboxes of a postal route of their choosing, a postal area of their choosing. So people are finding this a great way to wake up their neighbors, their neighborhood, to perhaps plant some seeds of thought into other areas, like maybe where their parents live or their children or other loved ones, exes, people who are refusing to see the bigger picture. This is a way to get a Druthers to them. And it starts at $196 to have 400 Druthers delivered to whatever area you choose. And it goes through Canada Post and gets delivered like a flyer. It's anonymous. Nobody knows who had these sent. It's kind of brilliant and people are loving it. So head over, if you're interested in this, to druthers.net/neighborhood to have, this is the issue that we are currently shipping. Unfortunately, it's backwards, but I can tell you it says 80 Canadian MDs vaxxed and dead. This issue is powerful. It's speaking to people. So if you'd like this delivered to your neighbors or to any neighborhood you like, go to druthers.net/neighborhood. Also, please keep the donations going. 100% of donations go to printing papers and shipping skids. Just so you know, no funds, no salaries, no overhead, no other expenses are taken from donations. When you donate, 100% of the donations we receive print papers and ship skids. That's how we're able to get papers across the country printed and distributed for only 10 cents a paper. It's kind of crazy, and that's why, because we're not living off of that money. How we sustain ourselves and rent this big house that I've gathered us the crew into, how we sustain ourselves is through postal subscriptions, which we're up to about 1,700 now, people who subscribe monthly to have Druthers delivered to their own mailbox. You can have between 3 papers and 400 papers delivered through Canada Post right to your door. So if you only want a couple papers for you and a couple friends, you can do that. If you're more eager, you can get a box of 100 or up to a box of 400 papers to deliver yourself in your own area. Go to druthers.net/subscribe to make that happen. Or have us deliver it for you at Canada Post. Have Canada Post deliver it for you as a flyer anonymously by going to druthers.net/neighborhood. And the donations, yes, we must keep the donations going. This is what drives everything. This is how we're able to print paper. So please go to donorbox.org/Druthers, or just send an e-transfer directly to admin, ADMIN, at druthers.net. And we'll manually add that donation to the fundraiser. So I think that pretty much covers it. Druthers is rocking. We printed 200,000 copies this month that were, those are the ones we afforded through the fundraiser, because we raised $20,000 last month to print 200,000 this month. But we also purchased an additional 50,000 copies for neighborhood mail. Because when somebody purchases neighborhood mail, we're not mailing out papers that were fundraised for. When somebody purchases neighborhood mail, they're paying for the printing of papers, delivery through Canada Post, and a small handling fee that Druthers receives to help us grow. So we did 200,000 through the fundraiser, another 50,000 for neighborhood mail. So that's 250,000 papers we printed this month. And that puts us, since we started back in December of 2020, with one skid of 25,000 papers, that was our first month, we are now up to over 5.8 million newspapers that we have printed and freely distributed all across the country in 2 years. We're having an effect. 6 million, nearly 6 million Druthers newspapers full of information that you won't find on mainstream news. Important information that Canadians really should be made aware of, that since legacy media is not making people aware of. We are one of the only, okay, I don't want to say one of the only. There's a couple like Toronto Caribbean, they're doing good news. Common Ground, out west, they're doing good stuff. But we are one of the very few who are printing honest news and information that Canadians really need to know. So please, anything you can do to support us, share this video, go to the website, share the links, donate, subscribe, get neighborhood mail delivered around. Yeah. I think that pretty much covers it. Holy smokes, this is up to a 20-minute video now. Anyways, anyway, love y'all. Keep going, man. We're making a difference. We really are. We are making a difference. People are waking up. I'm sure you see it too, in droves. I've been watching. 17 years I've been aware, and I've been trying to raise awareness about what's coming and trying to push back against it for 17 years. And one thing I can say from the 17 years I've been watching is that people are waking up rapidly right now. And that's because of all of you speaking up, standing up, speaking your truth, distributing druthers. 6 million druthers, that's got to leave a mark. That's an awful lot of newspapers filled with seeds of thought that people really should look at. So anyways, love you all. Keep going. Signing off.